Hey there, it's Marlon Marisha here, and today I want to talk to you about getting people from your website to book an appointment in you to speak about your product or service, but they book an appointment and they're pre-qualified. They are pre-indoctrinated in the way that you do business. Now, does that sound like a pipe dream? Well, it isn't, because this week I had two prospects book into my calendar who wanted to speak to me, who were already pre-indoctrinated in my methodology. And I have a methodology when I build websites called the sales-driven website. And that is a whole methodology that I explain, and it takes time to explain. But when these two prospects got on the call with me, they knew everything about it. They actually said, Marlon, we already know about what you do. We have these three questions to ask you. What a different conversation that is than when you're begging people to speak to you and then you're trying to force your methodology and your service and why you're different onto them. That is a whole different kind of conversation that you have to have with a client. And so it's pretty amazing when you have clients that are already engaged with you before you even meet them. So how do you do it? Okay, let me show you how you do it. Now, what's great about this is if you can do this for yourself, if you can put this tactic or strategy or trick into your website, you can then sell that to other people and put it in their websites. So I'm a web designer. I build websites for clients. But if you are not a web designer, you can do this no matter what business you're in, okay? So let's show you the strategy. So basically on every website, you should have three types of offers. The first is a cold offer. The next is a warm offer. And the final one is a hot offer, okay? So I'm not going to go through all of these. Today we're going to focus on the warm offer. That's what enabled these prospects to be able to get on the call with me and know everything about me. But let me just give you a tip. The hot offer is basically someone who comes to your website and they're ready to call. They're ready to book an appointment. They're pre-sold, they're ready to go. Now, typically there's only around 3% of people that hit your website who are actually in that position. And many businesses like physiotherapists and mechanics, they have maybe a higher percentage who are ready to go. But if you're a service-based business with a high ticket item, typically it's around 3% or less. So what do you do with the other 97%? Well, this is what you do. You create a warm offer. And so a warm offer allows your prospect who's not ready to call you, not ready to book an appointment, because they may know you, they may like you, but they don't trust you enough to actually book an appointment. It allows them to find out more about you. And so typically if you want leads from your website, a great warm offer is something like a video or a webinar. Some long form content that indoctrinates them. So for me, I have like a web class. It's actually a pre-recorded webinar that I put on my website where someone can click that option, they can fill in their details, they get access to my video, they watch it, it's an hour long. It's grueling, right? Unless you're really interested. And at the end, I offer them a strategy call with me to speak about how I can implement those strategies I talked about in the webinar in their business. And two people this week came through that funnel on my website. And they're the ones that got on and said, one of them said, Marlon, I've watched the whole 1 hour presentation. I have these three questions. The other person said, Marlon, I've watched it twice. I watched it last week, and then just before this meeting, I watched it again. So I have these questions for you. It was such an amazing conversation to have with a client, as opposed to me trying to sell, as opposed to me trying to clear up their understanding on how I do things. They were totally sold on my methodology. And so that's the key. If you can have a warm offer. Now, a lot of you I know are probably thinking, well, Marlon, that's just not realistic. Okay, so who's going to watch an hour video? Well, it doesn't have to be an hour. The reason I have an hour video is because it was a webinar that I've done and I just wanted to use that. Okay, it could be a 5-minute video. It could be a 10-minute video. It doesn't have to be that long. But what it does have to do is very clearly explain why you're different and the value that you create in your prospect's business. Now, it took me an hour to do that. Now, am I going to make a shorter one? Yes, I'm going to probably make a shorter one. I just don't have time at the moment. That 1 hour webinar is very powerful for me. And so I know I could probably make a shorter one, but I'm not interested in that at the moment. What I'm interested in is just getting people to my website and following up. You know, you don't have to be perfect to get a result. The biggest, I guess the biggest obstacle to online marketing success is perfectionism, where people say, well, if it's not perfect, I'm not going to launch it. Well, actually the opposite's true. It's better to do everything at 70% and launch than to actually wait for perfection, because most people never actually launch their online strategy. And so for me, even though I know it's a long video, I put it in there, and look, this week, 2 people came through and said, Marlon, we watched it. And I thought, gee, that's a long video, but they were engaged. They were engaged with my content. Now, if you are a web designer, what's beautiful about this whole strategy is once you get it working for you, that's a service that you can sell to your clients. And you can not only say, I think you should do this. What's more powerful is to say to them, it's what I do. You know, one of the biggest reasons I believe I'm successful is because whenever I say to a client, you need this feature, I say, oh, look at my website, I have that feature. Oh, you need to do this strategy, oh, look at my website, I have the same strategy. And so people inherently build trust in me because I'm not one of those marketers or web designers that say, do what I say, don't do what I do, okay? And so if you want to be that type of web designer or marketer, install a warm offer on your website and see the leads come through. A percentage of them will consume that content and then book a call in your calendar. Now, if you are hearing what I'm saying and you're saying, wow, Marlon, that is a pretty good idea, I should do that. But you want to also grow your business and you want to scale it out and you want to learn how to attract more leads and then convert them and then deliver websites in a timely fashion, then I want to challenge you to book in a 15-minute brainstorm with me. So in that 15 minutes, what we do is we will come up with ideas like this, just 3 of them that in the next 90 days you can implement to scale your business out. You know, typically you don't need to do 20 things to grow your business. You just need to do 1 or 2 things consistently. And so that's what I am offering you. It's called a scale session. Around this video somewhere there'll be a link where you can book in that 15-minute session with me. Book it in. I love to have that chat with you and brainstorm some ideas. There's many more ideas that I have because I have a business, and then I do it in there, and then I coach other people to do the same thing. So take it, use what I've just told you, and in the comments below or around the video, write down the results or write down, yeah, Marlon, I'm going to do it, or no, Marlon, I think it's a dumb idea. Let's have a chat about how we can grow our businesses. So book the strategy call or make contact with me. I look forward to speaking to you soon.